name's Hines, and I have lost 44 pounds since I've been on the Gabriel method. I went from a size 16 woman size American to a size 8. My weight loss struggle, before I discovered the Gabriel method, it was always a constant battle for me. I started probably when I was 12. My first diet was 12. I remember my mom giving me cottage cheese, and I was just always bigger than the rest of the girls in my school, and I was just more curvier. I just was built differently, so it was always considered that I was fat. I was called definitely names all the time about my weight, and it just continued on as I went into high school and college and in the work field. I just constantly thought about food. I wasn't a good dieter. I tried a diet for 1 or 2 days, but that always resulted in me really binging and overeating. I definitely had issues with overeating and binge eating. That would be my main thing, would be as a compulsive overeater. And I could eat large amounts of foods in small periods of time. And then I would gain a lot of weight, and then I would just be really mad at myself and just start all over the next day and try to control it. When I discovered the Gabriel method, I was listening to some podcasts, and they had Jon on, or they would talk about Jon. It was kind of like all of a sudden I've heard his name like 3 or 4 times, and I thought, I really need to look this guy up. And so when I read his book, that was the first exposure I had of him. It just really resonated with me, what he talked about, because he was the first person to not just talk about the mind-body connection, but also he also kind of broke down all the triggers, and he talked about what triggered you for putting on the weight, and also talked about that your weight wasn't your enemy. Your fat wasn't your enemy. Your fat was there for a reason, and once you figured out what that reason was, you would be able to, it would release itself, and you would lose it easily. So that really spoke to me, and especially the one area where he talked about was stress. I was a very stressed person, and then also emotional obesity. The chapter he had on emotional obesity just resonated with me so much, and I thought, I really have to follow this program. Jon was he's very genuine, and he's very there, and he's a part of he's very involved in this process, and he makes you feel like you're the only person he's working with at any given time, even if he's answering a question on the Facebook forum, and he really cares, and he wants the best for all of us, and he wants everyone to really understand that this is about your life and not so much just about the weight. I've never really worked one-on-one with Jon. I mostly worked with him through the support group and through his Ask Jon phone calls that he has. He's always been very responsive to any of the questions I've put on the forums and the Facebook forum, and he's always been very insightful, and he gave me some great information. He offers an amazing amount of support in the support group. It's amazing how much you can get out of that support group and look at, and you never have to even talk to him and still feel like you're working with him. But then also through the Ask Jon, a couple of times I did call in, he was very quick to pinpoint really where my triggers were, as opposed to maybe I wanted to focus on food and focus on like what I really should be eating and why am I eating this, and he would really steer me into the direction of really that I needed to deal with the emotional aspect of my weight. So as soon as I realized what really my triggers were and what I had to deal with, and started to deal with a lot of the emotional issues and a lot of the stress issues that I had, the weight started to shift a little bit. It took longer than I wanted to, but then I just really I lose my weight in bunches. So all of a sudden, like, I just lost 20 pounds in like a month, and then it plateaued a little bit, and then I lost another 10, and then I plateaued for a while, and then I lost another 10. But most of the time it was very effortless. It's hard to explain. It was very easy, even making choices, like things that I used to struggle with, like, oh, should I, eat, those French fries? It just went away. I just was like, oh, no, I'm just gonna have a salad. Like, the choices were easier to make, and then the weight just kind of fell off. The advice I would give anyone who was starting in the Gabriel method is: 1, trust the process. Definitely do the visualizations. Do not worry about the food. Do the visualizations. Look at the support group, find what works for you. He has exercise, he has nutrition, he has emotional. Please believe in the process and trust the process, and just believe in yourself and listen to yourself, because you've been guided to this method for some reason, and it really will help you.